Oh, here you are, face to face in this trashy bar.
Hello. Hi. How are you? How's it going? How's your life? Today, we're going to be talking about all the books that I need to haul. Let's get started. I look like one of those people. You know who I look like? I look like Bradley Uppercrust the Third. I literally look like an elite private school kid from the Goofy movie or something. I'm here to perform in the X Games. I'm literally stunning. I'm literally gorgeous. And so are you. Anyway, I don't have that many books. I don't have as many books as I did last time or the time before that. Thank God. It is personal growth. I'm growing as a human being, and by growing, I mean that I don't have as much money. She's restrained, and it is both a blessing and a curse. So anyway, let's get started. We have quite a few things to talk about, and I want to talk about them with you, okay? Let's talk about them. First off, let's talk about a book that I did read quite recently, and that is The Hacienda by Isabel Canos. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I read this recently this month. I'm going to talk more about it in my wrap up. This is about a girl whose dad is like executed by the government. And so she's literally like, I've got nowhere to go. What am I going to do? And then this dude like proposes to her and she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So she goes to live with him in his little house. It's very like Rebecca-esque, but make it Mexican. Do you know what I mean? I have thoughts and opinions about this one, and I don't want to talk about them too much right now because I want to save it. But I have thoughts and opinions, and they're very conflicting. Anyway, so there's that. I've got that. And for my Patreon, by the way, it's www.patreon.com/Jordaline reads, in case you're interested. We're reading Book Lovers and Hide. Book Lovers, I don't know what it's about because I haven't read it yet. I probably should. I loved Beach Read by Emily Henry, so I have literally nothing but the best expectations for this. I've heard mixed things. Some people really like it, some people really don't like it, so I'm interested to see where I sit. We are reading this for my smut club on Patreon. If you want to join, there's always a link down below. And then I'm currently reading Hide by Kirsten White. I also have thoughts and opinions about this one. But this is about a girl who has like a really traumatic past. Like her dad like murdered her entire family, including her little sister. And so she's kind of fucked up, and she's been kind of like going from homeless shelter to homeless shelter to foster home to foster home. And she gets this sort of opportunity to compete in this game of hide and go seek in an amusement park for the grand prize of $50,000. And this bitch is like, listen, hiding is how I survived, so I'm in. But then it turns out that it's more sinister than that, and that people are actually just being murdered if they're found. Spooky. I have opinions about this, and they're not necessarily good ones, but I'm going to talk more about it in my wrap up. To stay on the same train of like talking about books that I've read or am in the process of reading, we have Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. Have I hauled this before? I don't remember if I've hauled this before, but I read this month. This is the sequel to Finlay Donovan is Killing It, which was perfect. It was so good. I am so excited to get the third book, to read the third book, because, oh, so good. I'm going to talk more about that also in my wrap up. The rest of the books are like a hodgepodge of about everything. I have like fantasy, I have literary fiction, I have horror, I have everything. I do want to mention this book because even though it is manga, you know how much I love this author. I need to speak on it. And that is Shuzo Oshimi's newest book, which is Welcome Back, Alice. This new series of his is so interesting. So in this, we're following this kid. As a child, he had this friend named Kay, and he and this Kay kid have like a very interesting relationship. So Kay is like, hey, have you ever like masturbated before? And he's like, I don't, he's like, you should do it like this. The relationship is very sexual without it really being sexual. It's very strange. But then Kay moves away. 2 or 3 years later, he's going into high school, and he's like, I'm a new bitch or whatever. And the first day of high school, there's like a new student introduced, and the student has the same name as Kay, but it's a girl. And so everyone's like, what? Kay is now presenting more feminine. Such an interesting look at gender and sexuality. At the end of the manga, Shuzo Oshimi talks about why he wrote this specific story, and he said that the task was to examine, confront, and deconstruct one's sex drive and masculinity. So interesting, so good. Oh my god, I loved it, and I'm so excited to get volume 2. I'm obsessed. Next, let's talk about Just Like Mother by Anne Hetzel. This is one of my most anticipated books of 2022. Like, I've been so excited to read this. If you look at the cover, it gets more and more creepy the harder you look at it. Like, why is one of her eyes yellow? From what I understand, this is about 2 girls who, when they're younger, are like in a cult. I think the women, or the older women in the cult, are called like mothers. For some reason, I don't know, the cult is like disbanded, or like people like go their own ways, or like maybe they like scatter like rats. I don't know. But the cult is over. It's like not a thing. And then we go into the future where these 2 women, these 2 girls who were in the cult, meet again. They're like reunited, and one of them is working at a company that sells like robot babies. It seems kind of like a Crazy Friend horror novel, but maybe also there could be like creepy robot babies that could be like, I don't know, like a Chucky situation. I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I am really, really excited for it, and I cannot wait to read it. I might add this to my TBR in July. I bought this book like 2 months ago, and I never hauled it because I just kept forgetting that I bought it, which says a lot about me and like my collection. Anyway, that is The First Day of Spring by Nancy Tucker. Now, I heard Katie Carlson talking about this a few months ago, and the bitch convinced me I needed to buy it. So this is about Christy. Christy is a little 8-year-old. She's like a little kid. She likes to play hopscotch, and she likes to hang out with her friends and stuff. But she has a secret. She killed a boy. This little secret strikes fear into all of the little children on her street, strikes fear into their mothers' hearts, and Christy rules this fucking neighborhood, okay? She is the queen bitch. Don't fuck with Christy. Best of all, she has a feeling of power that she never gets at home, where food is scarce and attention scarcer. But then 20 years later, Christy is like, she's a grown-ass woman. She's an adult. She realizes that like that child version of herself was just scared and lonely and like misunderstood. But she wants to forget that it ever fucking happened, because she's like, oh, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. But the past is starting to sort of creep up on little Chrissy, and she's starting to be afraid that something could happen to her little daughter, Molly. It says that Nancy Tucker leaves the reader breathless as she inhabits her protagonist with a shocking authenticity that moves one from sympathy to humor to horror to heartbreak and back again. Listen, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read this. I don't like this cover. I don't like that it's a paperback, but I'm really looking forward to it. I might add this to my TBR actually. Anyway, we have a book that literally everyone hates. That is The Book of Night by Holly Black. Everyone hates this. Everyone hates it. I don't know why I'm laughing. Like a maniacal evil person. Anyway, it's just wild to me that Holly Black is like, watch out world, I'm gonna make my adult debut. And then everyone hates it. This is about Charlie Hall. Charlie has spent half of her life working for like magicians who do shady shit. Like magicians who like work in the shadows, who can manipulate shadows, and they like literally like strangle people on their beds with magic and stuff. But then Charlie makes the decision, like, I'm gonna be a good girl. So she goes to work in like this bar. She's like a little bartender, but her sister is just like obsessed with like magic and power, and her boyfriend is like super, super shady. But then people also from her past like come back into her life, and so she has to like fucking fight for her fucking life. And it says that she's determined to survive. She's up against a cast of doppelgangers, mercurial billionaires, glomists or magicians, and the people that she loves best in the world, all trying to steal a secret that will give them a vast and terrible power. Wow. I love this cover. Like, I love the gold. I love the gold foil. I'm hopeful. Please let me know in the comments if you liked this book, if you thought it was good. Also, let me know in the comments if you didn't like the book. Okay, we have to talk about this. We have to. We have to. It's the law. And that is The Stand-In by Lily Chu. Look at this cover. Oh my god. Literally fuck me. Fuck me in my asshole. Like, it's so beautiful. So this is about this girl named Gracie. Gracie is like your everyday average kind of bitch. She walks around. I'm an everyday average kind of bitch. And she is one day sort of like, I guess kind of like a parent trap situation where they're like, you look exactly like this celebrity. Be her. So she does. She like starts to impersonate this celebrity so that the celebrity can do something else. I don't know. And I think it's like a coming of age / romance. I don't know. All I know is that this cover is stunning and that everything about it is gorgeous and beautiful, and I want more of it. Literally gag me. It's so good. I'm so excited to read this. I think this is also going to go on my July TBR. We also have to talk about this book because I got it recently and I'm literally obsessed with it because I love the title and I love the cover and I love everything about it. And that is A Spoonful of Murder by J.M. Hall. It has a $15 sticker. Let me take that off for you. Look at it. Oh, look at the cat on the cup. It's so cute. This is a cozy mystery about a bunch of teachers who find a body in their school. The tagline says, milk, 2 sugars, and 1 dead body. Retirement can be murder. 3 retired school teachers have their coffee o'clock sessions at the Garden Center Cafe, but one fateful week, as they are catching up with a slice of cake, they bump into their ex-colleague, Topsy. By next Thursday, Topsy's dead. Guess what? This is also going on my July TBR. Is this just a TBR video or a haul video? Who knows? I also have this book, which is The Counselors by Jessica Goodman. This is a YA novel that I talked about, I think, in my summer TBR / recommendations video. I will link it up above and down below in case you want to see it. It's about this girl who's like obsessed with this camp. She goes every year. She loves it. She gets older and she's like, no, I can't go to this camp anymore. But then she becomes a counselor, and along with her friend. I'm excited. I'm excited. What can I say? I am excited. And then I have this book, which I didn't know was out. I didn't know that this was even a thing. And that is Dark Waters by Catherine Arden. This is the 3rd book in the Small Spaces quartet. If you know anything about me, I love middle grade horror. And this, Catherine Arden, what she does with these books is quite literally so good. We're following these 3 friends who sort of solve spooky mysteries, but they don't really want to. These things kind of just like fall in their lap and they're like, well, I guess we have to figure it out, otherwise we're gonna die. And I don't know what this one is about, but I'm so excited. The moment I saw it in the bookstore, I was like, are you joking? Why did no one tell me? Like, why didn't Catherine Arden herself inform me of this new edition? So rude, Catherine. While I was posing for the thumbnail, I accidentally like fucked up this book, and that is the Hunting Game. I wish. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I don't think I've hauled this yet. I hope I haven't hauled this yet. If I have, that's fucked up. But either way, this is about 2 coworkers who are just like absolutely fucking hate each other. They're just like, ugh, like, could you be any more annoying? To make things even worse, they're both up for the same promotion, which is like kind of rude. But as things become sort of like hotter and hotter in terms of hatred, things also become hotter and hotter in terms of like romance and love. And they start to question if they truly hate each other or if their feelings are just like misguided. Everyone and their mom loves this book, especially on TikTok. And I do love a good enemies to lovers moment, especially like a slow burn enemies to lovers. Love that shit. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see if I enjoy this, if I think it's worth the hype. Since we're on the category of like romance, let's also talk about this one, which is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. This is a romance novel about this fat girl. This is about B, who is a fat, like body positive influencer. She's like a blog and a bunch of like social media following, and she is obsessed with this reality show called Main Squeeze, where people sort of like get rejected and try to date, and you know, there's dudes named Chad or whatever. Anytime that she watches it, all she can notice is how there's no body diversity within the show. But then the show is like, hey B, come be on our show. And B is like, yes, yeah, okay, sure. So she goes and she's like, I'm gonna literally show everyone how good it is to be like fat and beautiful and like be like representation for women or whatever. But then she gets there and she realizes that things are not quite that simple and that things are a bit more complicated. I'm so excited to read this. I've heard really, really good things about it. And other than Olivia Dade, I have not seen any other like fat girl representation. Although actually no, there's also Get a Life Chloe Brown. That has a fat main character. Oh, and Zenny. Anyway, I'm excited because I love a good fat girl and I love a good fat girl romance. I love it. I'm so excited. By the way, if you can hear purring, it's because Bug is like right close to the microphone. Anyway, I should have grabbed The Diviners by Libba Bray, but I forgot to, and I'm too lazy to get back up and grab it. But I do have Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray and Before the Devil Breaks You. I don't know where the cover is for this one. It's here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. But I bought all 3 books. There is a 4th book, but everyone keeps telling me that it's like not worth it to get it. So I don't know if I'm gonna buy it, but I do have plans to read Layer of Dreams, and I do have plans to read this one. The 4th one, we'll see. But these books are set in the 20s. It's like YA, it's magical, demon stuff. I don't know. The first book was pretty good. I really liked it. And based on all the hype I've heard from like Olivia and Katie, I'm excited to continue on to see what the fuck is up. I bought this next book after reading the synopsis because it literally just seemed so heartfelt and so sweet that I couldn't resist it. And that is Memorial by Brian Washington. This is about a gay couple. One of them, I believe, is Japanese and the other one is a black man. However, they're unsure as to why they're really dating. In a crazy kind of like kooky turn of events, Mike ends up going to Japan to care for his dying father, while Benson stays in Texas with Mike's mother. And they become kind of roommates while Mike is in Japan. And both of them go through their own sort of transformation and sort of soul searching. It just seems like such a cute, fun, but also maybe heartbreaking book. I also just love that this man is living with this like older Japanese woman and they have to be like roommates. Like it just seems cute. The moment I saw this book cover, I knew I wanted it. But then I also saw somebody like giving it like a rave review on TikTok. And I was like, literally say less. Like, I don't need you to say anything else because I'm gonna buy it. And that is Disorientation. Look at this cover. Look at this fucking cover. Are you? Literally. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Look at it. It's so perfect. It's perfect. This might be one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so fucking stunning. This is about Ingrid. Ingrid is trying desperately to finish her dissertation on a poet named Zhao Wen Chu. After like several years of just researching this author, this poet, all she has to show is just like anxiety and stomach pain. Like there's nothing else. And then she comes across this note that Chu wrote. And so she's like, oh my God, this changes everything. And so the further she goes down this rabbit hole, the more things get messier. With her trusty friend Eunice by her side and her rival Vivian hot on her trail, together they set off on a roller coaster of mishaps and misadventures. As the events Ingrid instigated keep spiraling, she'll have to confront her sticky relationship to white men and white institutions, and most of all, to herself. It sounds weird and kooky and like funny, but also kind of fucked up and also thought-provoking. I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited. I've literally never heard or seen anyone say anything bad about it. I mean, and how could you? How could you say anything negative about this book when you have a cover like that? Let's talk about this book, which is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. Ugh, another stunning cover. This is a YA novel about this community where deadly storms ravage their island, okay? Like people are fucked up by it, and they believe that these storms are created by this sort of like water god. Each year they sacrifice someone to the water god in hopes that they'll like appease him. This year Mina, our main character, knows that her brother's like love is going to be sacrificed because she's the prettiest girl on the island, and so in order to like save her brother from heartbreak, she ends up sacrificing herself to the water god. But she finds that she's swept away into the spirit realm where she seeks out the sea god to be like, hey, stop. But then she finds him in this like enchanted sleep, and so she's like, well, fuck me. With the help of a mysterious young man and a motley crew of demons and spirits, Mina sets out to wake the sea god and bring an end to the killer storms once and for all. But a human cannot live long in the land of spirits, and there are those who would do anything to keep the sea god from waking. Listen, it sounds so good. The cover, the synopsis, everything about it just seems so whimsical and fun. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I think that's also going on my TBR. Oh my God, everything is on my TBR. She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. Listen, I bought this for the cover. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I bought it for the cover, but also because I saw someone on TikTok rave about it. So this is about these two girls. One of them is on the basketball team and the other one is a cheerleader, and they're like enemies. They hate each other. They like death stare all day, every day, all the time. But then as they have to kind of like work together, they start to realize that maybe they have feelings for each other also. The penultimate book we have is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. A stunning cover. Love it. This is everywhere. Everyone keeps talking about it, or they were talking about it. I think I missed the window, but whatever. This is about this girl. She, I think, gets out of rehab, and then she starts as a nanny for this like really fancy family, and she notices that this kid, whose name I think is Teddy, he's like always drawing, and she notices that his drawings are getting a little bit fucked up. His drawings are going from like cute to like, what the fuck? I don't know if this is a thriller or if it's a horror novel. I'm inclined to say that it's a horror novel, but who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Either way, I'm excited to read it, and I might add this. I might add it to my TBR. The last book in this book haul is one that I forgot to haul, and that is The Bone Orchard by Sarah Mueller. The cover is stunning. It says, "Secrets grow in the dark." That's true. So it says that tucked away behind a notorious house of ill repute, there was a garden where the trees are grown from bones and nourished by the darkest of secrets. The clattering, ghastly harvest is tended to by the women who live and work at Orchard House, Charm, the Madame, and her haunting, beautiful charges, shame, justice, desire, pride, and pain. Except on Tuesdays. When the Emperor alone calls at Orchard House to see his personal concubine, until the day he summons Charm instead to the palace to charge her with his dying decree. choose which of his horrible sons will inherit the empire by discovering which one has been responsible for his murder. What? I love that I'm like surprised, as if I didn't buy this fucking book. If she completes this final task, she will be freed from a life of bondage and servitude. Torn between the dead emperor's will and the whispers of her own ghosts, Charm must choose justice for an empire she hates or vengeance at the cost of her own freedom. It sounds really good. It sounds really, really good. I'm also not sure though if it's YA or adult. Like, the size of the book tells me that it's YA, but my heart tells me it's adult because it has a concubine in it. Anyway, I am excited to read this, even though I forgot that I bought it. But whatever, we don't have to talk about it. My friends, my family, my familia. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below what you thought of these books, if you've read any of them, if you're excited to read any of them, if any of them you were like, no, why'd you buy that? I would love to know. Don't forget also to hit subscribe because we talk about spooky shit, we talk about creepy shit, we talk about concubines and Teddy and shit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.